She thought kindness was free until it cost her everything. But what happened next changed her life forever. Emma Parker had always believed in small acts of kindness. A warm smile, a helping hand, a simple gesture. It didn't take much to make someone's day a little better. But she never expected that being kind would cost her everything. The evening rush at Rosie's diner was brutal, as always. The scent of coffee and grilled sandwiches filled the air, and orders flew in faster than she could process. Emma moved swiftly between tables, balancing plates, refilling cups, and flashing her usual bright smile at customers who barely looked up from their phones. Then he walked in. A man, wrapped in a worn-out jacket, with tired eyes that spoke of days, maybe weeks, without a real meal. He hesitated at the entrance, glancing at the crowded booths before quietly slipping into the farthest corner of the diner. Emma noticed the way his fingers trembled as he reached for the menu, how he held it for a long time without turning a page. She had seen this before. Someone pretending to browse, knowing full well they couldn't afford anything. Her heart clenched. She walked over with a warm smile. "Hey there, what can I get you?" The man hesitated. Just water, please." Emma's chest tightened. "Are you sure?" she asked softly. "We have some great specials tonight." He forced a weak smile. I'm good, just water." Emma didn't think twice. She went straight to the kitchen and placed an order. A hot meal on her. She told herself it was just a plate of food. It wouldn't hurt the diner's bottom line. No one would even notice. But someone did. Her manager, Mr. Lewis, had sharp eyes and an even sharper temper. As she placed the steaming plate in front of the man, she felt a heavy hand on her shoulder. "Emma." Mr. Lewis's cold voice cut through the warm atmosphere. "My office, now." Her stomach dropped. She turned to the man, whispering, "Enjoy your meal." Then she followed her manager, her heart pounding. And in the next 5 minutes, her entire world crumbled. Emma sat across from Mr. Lewis, her hands clenched in her lap. The tiny office, cluttered with paperwork and the lingering smell of burnt coffee, felt suffocating. He folded his arms, his expression unreadable. "Do you think this is a charity, Emma?" She swallowed hard. "I was just trying to help." Mr. Lewis scoffed. "That's not your job. Your job is to take orders and bring food to paying customers." Emma's pulse quickened. "It was just one meal. The diner throws out food every night. I didn't think—" "That's the problem. You didn't think," he interrupted, his voice sharp. "If we let everyone start giving away food, we'll be out of business." Emma could feel the heat rising in her chest. "He was hungry," she said, her voice firmer now. It was the right thing to do. Mr. Lewis leaned back in his chair, studying her. Then, without hesitation, he grabbed a slip of paper from his desk and scribbled something down. "You're fired." The words hit her like a slap. Her breath caught in her throat. "What?" "You heard me," he said, sliding the paper toward her. "Pack your things." Emma sat there in stunned silence. Just like that, it was over. Years of dedication, long shifts, extra hours, covering for co-workers. And for what? For a single act of kindness? She felt tears sting her eyes, but refused to let them fall. With trembling hands, she untied her apron and placed it on the desk. Then, without another word, she walked out of the office. The moment she stepped into the dining area, every pair of eyes was on her. Whispers floated through the room. Some customers looked away, pretending not to notice. Others offered quiet sympathy. She grabbed her bag and turned toward the door, only to find the man she had helped standing there. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I didn't mean to cause you trouble." Emma forced a smile. "It's not your fault." He hesitated, as if he wanted to say something else. But Emma didn't wait. She pushed open the door and stepped into the cold night air, her entire world collapsing around her. She had no job, no backup plan, and no idea what would happen next. But fate had something extraordinary in store. The winter air bit at Emma's skin as she stepped outside, her mind racing. What now? Rent was due in 2 weeks, and she had no savings to fall back on. Panic threatened to rise, but she pushed it down. She had always figured things out before. She would figure this out too. Just as she was about to start walking home, a sleek black car pulled up to the curb. The tinted window rolled down, and the man she had helped leaned out. "Wait," he called. Emma frowned in confusion. "Are you okay?" The man exhaled, as if debating something. Then he stepped out of the car. Under the streetlights, he no longer looked like a struggling homeless man. He still wore the same jacket, but there was something different. His posture, the way he held himself. "I owe you an explanation," he said, offering his hand. "My name is Daniel Carter." Emma shook his hand hesitantly. "Emma Parker." Daniel hesitated for a moment before saying, "I wasn't completely honest back there." Emma blinked. "What do you mean?" He sighed. "I'm not homeless, and I could have easily paid for that meal." Her brows furrowed. "Then why?" "I was conducting a test," he admitted. "I own Carter Enterprises, a hospitality chain. Hotels, restaurants, diners, including Rosie's Diner." Emma's heart skipped a beat. "What?" "I go undercover to see how my businesses treat people," he explained. "Tonight I was testing how staff would handle someone in need." His jaw tightened. "And Mr. Lewis failed. But you—" He looked at her with something close to admiration. "You showed kindness without expecting anything in return." Emma didn't know what to say. The man she had thought was down on his luck was actually a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire. "I'm so sorry you lost your job because of this," Daniel continued. "That wasn't supposed to happen." Emma let out a bitter laugh. "It's not like I had much of a future there anyway." Daniel studied her for a moment, then reached into his pocket and pulled out a business card. "I want you to come work for me," he said. "Not as a waitress, as a manager." Emma's mouth fell open. "What?" "You have the kind of heart I want leading my teams," he said. "Compassion, integrity, that's rare." Emma stared at him, her brain struggling to process what was happening. This morning she was just a waitress. Now, a billionaire was offering her a life-changing opportunity? She hesitated, still reeling. "Are you serious?" Daniel smiled. "Completely." She looked down at the card in her hand. Carter Enterprises. A job beyond anything she had ever dreamed of. Her life had just changed forever, and she had no idea just how much. Emma sat across from Daniel in his office, still trying to absorb the whirlwind of events that had led her here. Just days ago, she had been fired in the middle of a shift. Now she was in a high-rise building, overlooking the city, about to start a career she had never even dared to dream of. "This is unbelievable," she murmured, running her fingers over the crisp folder containing her employment contract. Daniel smiled. "Believe it. You earned this." She exhaled shakily. "But I don't have a degree in management. I've never even done anything close to this." "You didn't need a degree to show kindness when no one else did," Daniel said. "That's what I value most." Emma met his gaze. "But what if I fail?" Daniel leaned forward slightly. "Let me tell you something, Emma. I've hired people with the best degrees, the most experience, the most polished resumes. But they lacked heart. And heart is what makes a business thrive. You have that." Emma swallowed hard. Was this really happening? She turned to look out the window, remembering the feeling of humiliation when Mr. Lewis had fired her. If only he could see her now. But revenge wasn't what she wanted. She wanted to prove, to herself, to everyone, that she was capable of more than just waiting tables. Taking a deep breath, she turned back to Daniel. "Okay," she said, determination shining in her eyes. "I'll do it." Daniel grinned. "Welcome to Carter Enterprises." A few months later, Emma walked through the halls of a newly renovated restaurant, one of Daniel's latest projects. Employees greeted her with respect, and for the first time in her life, she felt truly valued. As she watched a waitress discreetly slip a free meal to an elderly man struggling to pay, she smiled. She knew exactly what that felt like. And now she had the power to make sure kindness was always rewarded. Some might say fate had led her here. Others might call it luck. But Emma knew the truth. A single act of kindness had changed her entire life. And in return, she would spend the rest of it making sure others got the same chance she had